Thank you for joining us. This is Live with Miami's Community News, and I'm Michael Miller. Special guest today. Don't look over there. Look this way. He's looking over there.
I'm trying to figure out what camera I look at. What camera?
Just look this way.
Look at
Rabbi
you.
Yossi Harlig from a bod of Kendall Pinecrest and the Friendship Circle. So first, let's talk about the Friendship Circle. You have an event coming up in a couple of days. Tell us about that.
Yes, we have this Sunday, our 16th annual Walkathon, which is really a beautiful day because we have the whole community coming out. The families that we are part of our program, community people, elected officials, just regular people in the community coming out one day in celebration and in solidarity for the special needs community. And also we raise needed funds to run our program. So it's a carnival starting at 9 a.m. on our campus on 87 and 112th Street, 87th Avenue and 112th Street, Galloway and Killian. It's 9 to 10 is registration and the program. 10 to 11 we do the walk. 11 to 12:30 is a carnival. It's a lot of fun.
And the walk is how far?
It's about 1 mile.
Well, perfect. Everybody.
Easy through the community. Anyone could do it.
And so it's really quite moving when you go. I think I went last year. It was like people from all over.
And the name of the website is walkingforfriendship.org.
Walkingforfriendship. All right. People can go there.
Yep.
They can look at pictures
And
and they can donate money.
Yep.
You can donate money.
Yep.
They could donate money on that.
Correct.
website.
Absolutely.
Okay. One of the great things that I've learned from you is when you explained to me how the Friendship Circle began for you. Correct me if I got it wrong. Is that you and your wife were actually looking for programs that Jewish students could come and spend, get community hours and donate their time to programs at Chabad.
Correct.
That was what you were trying to do.
Yes.
And then out of that desire to do that, then you said, well, what do we need to do to accomplish that? Have that right?
Correct.
And then you said, oh, you found this thing called Friendship Circle. What year was that?
That was 2003, 2004, around there.
So
and yes,
20 years?
Yes. So we started Chabad in August of 95. Chabad is a Jewish outreach organization that reaches out to the Jewish community and tries to get them engaged. And to get engaged in Judaism, the tradition, or just be involved in the community. So after a few years being here, we realized that we were struggling of getting teenagers to get involved in Judaism because, you tell someone, come study the Torah, the Bible, it's not that exciting. So we said, we got to find a program that they're going to feel they want to get involved with. And one of the things people always need is community service. I said, is there something that we can find that they can get involved and get them engaged? And, let's find something. So then I heard from a friend who just started the Friendship Circle. Remember, fast forward now, there's about 100 chapters all over the country. And he started this program of teaming up a teenage volunteer with a special needs child. Why did he start it? Because he knew two families, each had an issue. The family that had a special needs child, they were telling the rabbi, listen, my son is home all day and he's bored, no one's talking to him. He spoke to another parent who was a teenager and pulling her hair out, raising the kid. What should I do? He's getting into the wrong things. He said, oh, I got an idea. Let's put them together. So I just said to myself, okay, let me go to Jewish teenagers in our community and ask them, do you want to volunteer for special needs kids? I didn't know anything about special needs. I just knew about Jewish teenagers. So the first few families we came to, I still remember who they were. They said, it's a good idea, but we're not going to do it. And then we started doing that program that way, just with special needs kids that were Jewish. And then once we started getting involved, it started growing. We said, okay, we reached out to all the Jewish kids we know. Let's open up to the whole community. And then it metaphors, and it just turned into this big organization we have today.
So on your property there, you have a 20,000-foot building that is a combination religious activities, and then separately, but in the same building, you have Friendship Circle services.
Correct. And that's the beauty of it. I remember going to Israel to a program called Shalva, where I got that idea from him. He opened a restaurant in his building where he served special needs kids. And he said, I want to bring in the typical community and the special needs community to be together. And it should be like a normal thing in life. Because before that, it was all about you go to a park that's for special needs. You go to a program for special needs, but they never wanted to bring both worlds together.
Isn't it? So when we meet people that for the first time, especially people that are not like us, that at first you go, oh my goodness, they're not like me. Then you realize, but they're like themselves. And that growth is there. I've seen that with people when they're involved with people that are different than them, different sexes, or they're tall or short or fit or not. And the connection between the religious activities and the kids really is tremendous because it allows each side to take a look at the other side and allows them to participate. So it's not this, oh, they're in that corner over there.
We once had a story, a very sad story, but it really shows you what it is. We run like winter camps, summer camps. And one time they went to a jumping place, and one of my staff told me they overhear a mother telling the manager, "Oh, I didn't know you let these type of kids into your place," like in a negative.
Yeah.
And when you join Friendship Circle, we've had over close to 1,400 volunteers. When you join Friendship Circle and volunteer, it opens up your eyes to the special needs world. It makes you more sensitive. I remember after a few years having Friendship Circle, there was a volunteer told us, it was such a heartwarming story, that there was, in her classroom, there was a child, a high, neurodivergent, as we say. He would make weird sounds, and nobody wanted to sit next to him. And she turned to the teacher, "Put me next to him. I'll be able to watch over him, take care of him." To me, the whole program was worth just for that story.
When Raquel Regalado, County Commissioner, was here, and she talked about
Diversion. That's the new, the way they describe it. Right?
She said they deserve a seat at the table. I know we've discussed that before.
Yeah.
And once you understand that and grasp that, and inside, that is inclusive of everybody, not just them. We have people of different religions, people from all over the world, people that are tall and short, that maybe they're disabled, maybe they can't see, maybe they're in a wheelchair.
But I want to touch upon another thing that people don't realize. Let's talk about the typical volunteer. It helps them also. Even if you're, so to speak, we call it typical, but you may not have any friends. You may have low self-esteem about yourself. You may have depression. It's a big issue with volunteers. Now, when they come to this program, they say, "Wow, I'm valued. They need me. I have a kid that really looks forward to seeing me." Talking about Raquel Regalado, I was talking to her father today. And he was telling me, Thomas Regalado, he was telling me today, we had a meeting about something else. He said, my grandchildren, when they know Friendship Circle is coming up, they keep reminding me every day for the next, like, tomorrow, make sure you take me. But also it affects not only those kids, but it affects a typical volunteer that knows that he makes a difference or she makes a difference, and it helps them with self-esteem. It helps them getting into nonsense. It shows that their life matters, because there's a lot of depression and bullying in the typical world too.
So Friendship Circle you've been doing that for how many years? Almost 18?
Almost 20 years.
20 years. And so you've had hundreds of kids that have now grown up, all right? They were high school, college, graduation, all right? And so they've learned a lot about getting along with people.
Correct. And they went into the special needs world, a lot of them.
There was somebody that visited us about a year and a half ago, and he was talking about somebody with autism. My impression was only one, which was somebody that was severely autistic, and he was probably 6 years old. He was nodding like this. He would say his name, change your diaper, blah, 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 change your diaper. And I'm thinking, oh my God, what are we as a community going to do? Well, you know what? Kid's got a job at Publix now, and he comes over to you and he can socialize. But for so many people in the world, they think that somebody with autism is a certain way. But there's this whole, we call it spectrum. There's this whole variance of people, right? Correct. And I think that Albert Einstein would say that, yeah, we're on the spectrum. We all are. It's just in different places on that. So I think Albert Einstein thinks that we're all like silly.
Correct.
So it certainly opens up these kids' mind and the volunteers' minds about how to treat people. So I certainly have become a better person because of that, understanding that not everybody is like you and me. They're different. And we are obliged to treat them better than we have been.
Correct.
So tell us about, right now, are you going to be working with people in what age group?
Right now, what's really taking off a lot is the adults program, because till 22, you can be part of the school system. What do you do after 22? Kid can't go to college, a lot of them. So we start a lot of adult programs, which is such a big need. They're so lonely, and they're looking for something to be part of, and that's something that's growing. So when we open up the campus, God willing, very, very soon, hopefully in the next few weeks, we'll move on. We are going to start a friendship bakery, culinary things, things for adults a lot more. So we have a lot of programs. Listen, I'm a big believer. The building project was $17 million. We raised already $12 million. So if we could always use some more money, and there's different opportunities.
I understand Grant Miller might be willing to contribute.
Correct. We could call it the Miller campus for $5 million. Are they going to be in competition with the Millers from right? They had to pay $30 million or $50 million. And you're only $5 million, and you can name our campus, the Friendship Miller campus, whatever. But we have a lot of programs that we're going to start that really going to change a lot of people's lives. And one of them is the adult program, where we feel it's so important to be able to, I know what I was going to say. I lost train of thought. We spent $17 million to build this campus. We have a big responsibility to make sure this campus is doing even more than we did till now. Because building a building is a beautiful thing. You go, wow, it's so beautiful, but what are you doing with it? It's not just to walk around saying, impressive, nice floors, nice ceilings, nice chandelier. How many more lives are you impacting? How many more people are going to be? Because if you're going to raise 7, 12, 13, 15, 16, $17 million in the community, this better be giving back and helping even more people. So we have a new organization that we're going to start, which we'll announce once we open, something very exciting, a little bit tied into the same thing. And we have something even more exciting. I'm always looking for what else can we do.
There was an old saying in the running community, I know it's hard to believe, but I used to run a lot, that would always, when you're running a marathon, you always had the next one planned. So when you finished it, oh, well, there was the next one. It was already there. So you didn't have to reach too far out. So you have this 20-year plan that's now kicking off, right? So what does Rabbi Yossi Harlig have in the future?
So we already started another organization. We already hired people for it. It's something very different, not completely different. It's called the Mitzvah Kitchen, which is, you're hearing from me here first. The Mitzvah Kitchen is an organization that brings the community together to make food for the underprivileged community. But it's a little different than a typical kitchen. A typical kitchen it's all about production, getting the food out. Here it's bringing people together in a room, and they're going to make the food from beginning to end. That within that 2-hour period, the packages are going to be ready, and the food is going to be ready. It's also going to be kosher, and it's going to be something that is going to be there for the community. It's going to be team building. It's like you get a bank to come and their staff come together and they cut up the vegetables, the salads. There'll be a chef there. Besides that, we're going to have Friendship Bakery. Besides that, we have culinary skills. These are all things in the making already. Now we already started. We already have a website for it. It's already started.
Tell me, what happens to the food? What are you doing with that?
With the food itself?
Yeah.
It's going to go to either special needs families. We tell them, family, you don't have to worry about food tonight. You have come here, pick up packaged foods. It will go to charities that work with poor people that are underprivileged. And it's something but the key is, it follows the model of Chabad and Friendship Circle, bringing volunteers together to make the food. So what is it? You have people in a room getting together and they cut the food. I was in California last week and I went to another kitchen that does that. It was like unbelievable experience.
Could somebody donate specifically for that?
Yeah, it's a separate organization. It's called the Mitzvah Kitchen.
Okay.
How does it sound to you?
Oh, it does. $500.
Correct. Really?
Really? This is the first time. All right.
Mitzvah Kitchen. Thank you.
Our pleasure.
Right.
To do that. I got it cleared already.
Yes.
From the bosses. I've so many. All right.
Right.
So I think that's terrific, because when people can make things,
100%.
Right,
Yes.
they feel good about the accomplishment. It's relatively quick.
Correct.
In the sense from the time of creating it until it's cooked, until it's packaged, and until somebody picks it up. So, and my daughter, when she went to a bakery school for a year, and she would be at the house back then, and she would like bake up the stuff, and you could see the smile on her face. And if it wasn't good, you could see the other day. And
so we're doing baking for the special needs community. It's called the Friendship Bakery, which we're starting, where they're going to make cookies and challah, and then later they're going to be able to sell it. So they feel like maybe I'll team up with other stores. So we're just starting. We kind of, like you said, you can't just stay in one place. You have to continuously think of other things.
Tell me about it. This is 2025, 2030. Tell me about it.
2030, Mashiach, Messiah better come, and we'll be out of this exile. As we see as Jewish people, we believe in all that. But I envision for our organization, my vision is the campus will be too small. And there'll be continuously programs throughout the day. throughout the week, impacting every segment of the community, from the special needs community, the Jewish community, the, Friendship Circles and non-sectarian, that helps everyone, to food. We want to be there, a place where we could be able to help as many people as we can.
How do you have that vision? What in your making causes you to be able to look to the future and be able to do that?
I just enjoy, I get motivated, and I get excited of thinking of new things and putting it into play. To me, that gets me excited. Honestly, the same thing every day. The challenge. I enjoy the challenge. I enjoy the knowing the impact you can have in people's lives. I already see how it's going to be. I already see the success of it. Kind of see idea. I went online. I looked for things. What could I do that could really make a difference? I knew the Chabad model of helping the Jewish community, so it's going to be kosher. There's nothing kosher down in South Dade. I knew the idea of volunteering. I see how it helps people, how people love volunteering. I see the other part of people, special needs families. If you could tell them you don't have to worry about dinner tonight, even if they have the money, it's not an issue. Food will be ready for you. I see this idea that people need help. So to me, it's just so obvious.
Sometimes people look at an old house beat up. Oh, isn't it terrible? It's no good. It's falling apart. That's one look. Another guy says, could be a historic house. This could be wonderful. All right. And so we see that in you, and it's really unbelievable that you were able, and your team, which is people that work with you, and the hundreds of what do you call them? Donors. All right, that's the word. Donors. All right, that believe in you.
Yeah, and it's funny. I was speaking to another rabbi. I gave him a tour of my campus. He says, "Rabbi, when I come to your campus, all I see is bills, debt." I said, "It's interesting. When I come to my campus, all I see is opportunity." And it's just two different ways of looking at things. It's how your brain operates. For me, I see an idea. Oh my God, this is great. I was in Montreal last week, and I went to a few organizations, and I get excited. Then my staff always say, "Okay, Rabbi, we got to let's first do this." I'm always trying to figure out.
Got the next race is already lined up.
Correct.
They may not know it yet, but you got it in your head. You just haven't figured out to tell them.
Because I feel we have a duty to help. We can't just be complacent and be happy. And I got this probably from the Lubavitcher Rebbe, our teacher. He says, if you have $200, you want $400. You have $400, you want $800. We have to do that the same thing for making a difference in the community. We can never be complacent and say, okay, I know this is who I am. No, if you have more opportunities, more avenues to help people, let's go ahead and do it.
I know you may find this hard to imagine, but because of our relationship, I've been certainly more open to helping people that need it. And Michelle, who's running the show, understands that because she sees it every day that she's here. And it's a pleasure to be able to help people. And when you have the ability to do that, I urge people to do that, whether it's in volunteering, their time, energy, money.
Let's talk about your shows. I'm sure for you, on a personal level, this doing these shows and be speaking to so many different people, like it's worth more than money for you. I mean, I don't know financially what it means to you, but I'm sure the feeling of putting different people up and having a conversation and being able to share to the community what they stand for and what they do for. And you never know who's watching your show, and you may never know that they watched it and that minute really impacted them. And you do this on a daily basis in your show, and that must make you feel so good.
Grant and I've been doing in the communication business for 40 years. The last 5 have been the best because of our ability to communicate, the ability to help, and to do it rapidly. In the old days, all right, we'd go out and we'd do a story. It could be 2 weeks by the time it was written, appeared, and got results from it. Now, sometimes it's a couple hours. That's like baking. You go in with the raw stuff, 2 hours later, you got a cake. Put a package around it, put it in the refrigerator, and sell it to some local guys. So I've learned a lot, from you. And so is my wife, right? And I remember when you said to me, your daughter's going to marry this guy. You remember that? Let me call the other rabbi. Let me see.
I remember sitting in my living. I still remember that moment.
And you said, Michael, your daughter's going to marry this guy. And I went, really? That was 12. That was probably 14, 15 years ago, at least.
Yeah.
And so what a wonderful.
And they brought your beautiful grandchildren.
Two beautiful ones, all right? Benjamin's now 10, Charlotte's 8. And I think I told you that Benjamin is in his kayak. They live on the water, and he's very concerned about trash in the water.
Wow.
He picked up a plastic bag out of the water. Look, Grandpa, I found this is trash. I found it in the water, because they have manatees in the backyard. And so he understands the connection between taking care of the world and picking up that one piece of trash.
I think that's, if you say what's the common denominator of most of the programs we do, is make people more sensitive and aware and responsible for the community. That's a big thing. And, people always like to think about, what are my rights? It's not about what's my rights, what are my responsibilities? We, as human beings, God put us into the world, is responsible to make the world a better place. And one person could be cleaning up the trash. Someone else could be there helping, especially a child neurodivergent, giving food, teaching Torah. I used to go with your wife to the prisons to teach wherever you could to make a difference in the people's lives through your business, and anyone's watching through their business, whatever it may be. They have a responsibility to be there.
I'm so proud of, we all are proud of Rochelle, who's been working here for, I think, 2 years. She's now a teacher at a school down south. And so my hat's off to her. And when she leaves there,
why are you so proud of her?
We are proud of her. She's teaching little kids.
Oh, wow.
All right. And she drives all the way up here so she can experience this part of it again. I know that we all learn from this, especially when I like the younger people, when they work here, that they can experience these things, which I was slightly exposed to, but now I know it's our responsibility to expose people to all sorts of things that are there. So here it is. It's almost March 2025. The last 2 years have certainly come and gone very quickly. We still hear frequently about the little kids that were still suffering from the effects of the pandemic by virtue that they fell behind and the mask on the face and that disruption. And hopefully soon they'll be able to catch up if that's
Don't use any words that this video can't be played. Make sure to use the right words, right?
Yes. So here we are. Your event is this weekend?
Yeah.
All right.
9 a.m., March 2nd on 87th Avenue on 112th Street. Hopefully you'll join. Hopefully you go online and donate.
And they can go there.
Yeah, put on the bottom on the screen. Walking for friendship, the number 4.
Walking for friendship. Okay.
.org.
Maybe she'll be able to get that up. All right.
Oh my God, I'm so gray.
Folks, did you hear that? The rabbi says he's all gray. Yeah. Pretty much so.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. And you too. So, yeah.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
The clock does
it. It beats the alternative, right?
It does. Okay. So we're going to wrap it up.
Yep.
Would you like to do a prayer or something?
Yes.
Okay.
I say this camera.
Yeah, this camera right there. There we go.
One of the most important prayers that we have is in the morning. We wake up in the morning. We say, "Blessed are you, Lord our God. Thank you, God, for returning my soul to me and giving me the strength for the day." And the reason why that prayer is so important is because it reminds you, as soon as you wake up in the morning, there's a reason why I woke up. There's a lot of people didn't wake up today. There's a reason why I woke up. Then how am I going to make this day a godly day, a day that I make a difference in the world? It's not just a day for myself, but it's a day, how can I make the world a brighter place? And everyone could do it through that way, through a hello, through friendship with another person, through a call to their parents, to their siblings, through work, whatever it may be. So we pray to God to please give us the strength that we need to get up, have the strength we need to change the world. We could all do that.
Wonderful. And I want to thank Michelle for producing the show, and for the website was just across there. Again, folks, we're going to look right in the red camera right up here. Remember, folks, take care of yourselves and your family. Have a good day.